They said Morounkeji was born with the blessing of the river goddess. Her skin shimmered like morning dew, and her laughter rolled like distant thunder. She was the only daughter of the village chief and had been promised since she was 10 to Adarimi, the wealthiest yam farmer in Olyadare village. Adarimi was a man of many barns and no warmth. 30 years older, with sharp eyes and a voice like gravel. He considered Morounkeji a reward, not a person. Every market day he sent her gifts, beads, wrappers, bowls of palm oil. But her heart remained untouched. One evening, Morounkeji went to fetch water by the sacred stream. The moon hung low, and the air smelt of wet earth. That's when she heard it. A flute, soft and haunting, weaving a melody so tender it made her chest ache. She followed the sound until she found him. Ao, a traveler with dusty feet and a smile that melted silence. He paused when he saw her. "Did the moon send you?" he asked. Morounkeji laughed. "No. The flute did." From that night she kept returning to the stream. Not for water. For Ao. They didn't speak much. He played. She listened. And slowly, her heart opened like a hibiscus at dawn. But in Olyadare, nothing stays hidden forever. The villagers began to whisper. They noticed Morounkeji's glow, the way she moved through the market like someone who had tasted something sweet and secret. Her steps were lighter. Her smile came faster. Even the old palm wine tapper muttered, "That girl is dancing to a silent song." One day, as she scrubbed clothes by the stream, her friend Adunni leaned close and whispered, "Is it true, Kuji, that you've been meeting a stranger beneath the almond tree?" Morounkeji froze. "Who told you that?" Adunni didn't answer. She only frowned. "Be careful. Adarimi is not a man to cross." Morounkeji's heart pounded. She knew what Adarimi was capable of. Once, when a goat wandered into his farm, he tied it to a stake and left it for days. What would he do to a girl who broke a marriage promise? Still, the fear in her chest melted each time she heard Ao's flute. With him, she was not a chief's daughter. Not a gift to be given. She was just a girl, free, laughing, alive. One night Ao gave her a carved pendant. "It's made from the wood of the stream's oldest tree," he said. "So you'll remember where your heart is." She wore it under her wrapper, close to her skin. But the next morning, her father summoned her. "Adarimi is angry," he said. "He says you've been meeting a man." He went to the shrine. Morounkeji's blood ran cold. The wind howled outside. Storm was coming. Adarimi knelt before the shrine of Ogun, the god of iron and vengeance. His voice trembled not with sorrow but rage. "If she will not be mine, then let her be no one's. May her heart never settle. May her love bring ruin. May she vanish like mist before the morning sun." The priest looked at him with wary eyes. But the gods do not ask questions when sacrifices are made. Adarimi offered a black ram, 7 kola nuts, and a calabash of his blood. That night the sky cracked. Thunder rolled through Olyadare, louder than drums of war. Rain poured without mercy, drowning footpaths and flooding farms. The villagers stayed inside, afraid to speak, afraid to breathe. Morounkeji did not return home. Her mother wept. Her father sent messengers to every nearby village. Ao searched the stream, the hills, the markets, but found only silence. By dawn the rain stopped. And so did the village. The crops withered. Children fell ill. Wells dried up, though the skies were gray. Birds no longer sang. It was as though joy had packed its things and left with Morounkeji. The village elders gathered and declared, "This is no ordinary sorrow. This is a curse born from selfish love." Ao refused to believe she was gone. "She is not dead," he whispered to the sky. "I would feel it." He clutched the carved pendant she had returned to him. It was wet, not with rain but with tears that weren't his. Ao could no longer sleep. Each night, he dreamt of Morounkeji standing in the middle of rain. Barefoot, silent, her wrapper soaked and clinging to her skin. She did not cry. She simply looked at him like she was waiting. waiting for him to find her. On the seventh night, Ao made a choice. He wrapped food in banana leaves, tied his flute to his back, and began the long journey to the Hill of Ancients, a sacred place no one dared climb unless they sought truth deeper than bone. The path was steep, clawing at his feet and slicing his ankles. Birds cawed, trees groaned, thorns whispered, "Turn back." But he didn't. Not once. By the time he reached the summit, his lips were cracked and bleeding. The sky above him was darker than any night he'd known. He stood before the ancient stone, where the first mothers once prayed for rain. A single drop of water slid down the rock. Ao fell to his knees. "Spirits of earth and sky, I give up everything. My voice, my music, my sight, if you will show me the path to her." Silence. Then wind. Then a whisper, faint and cold. "Her soul walks where the rain begins. To find her, you must give what is most precious." Ao blinked, and the world faded into blackness. He had given his sight, and the journey had only begun. Blind now, Ao descended the Hill of Ancients, guided only by memory, pain, and the rhythm of her name in his chest. Morounkeji. Morounkeji. Like a drumbeat that refused to stop. He wandered through forests thick with silence. He crossed streams that whispered her laughter. Every place they had once touched, the almond tree, the sacred stream, the footpath behind the market, he returned to, hoping she had left a trace. But nothing remained. Days passed, then weeks. His food ran out. His flute, though still slung across his back, remained silent. What use was music to a world without her? One evening, as he slept beneath an iroko tree, a woman cloaked in white appeared in his dream. Her face was hidden, but her voice sounded like rain falling on calabash. "You seek what was taken by jealousy, sealed by sacrifice. She is neither alive nor dead, she is between." Adarimi cursed her with longing. Only a heart unbroken by despair can reach her. Oh, reached for her. She vanished like mist. He awoke to real rain, a gentle drizzle. Something had changed. The earth no longer felt dry. The trees no longer groaned. The air, though cold, was filled with possibility. He rose and walked, past Alyadare, past memory, into lands where his name meant nothing. On the seventh day, he arrived at a silent river that hadn't flowed in years. As he touched its surface, the water shimmered. Then a voice, familiar, aching, eternal, rose from the wind. "You came." Ao fell to his knees by the riverbank, tears mixing with the drizzle. That voice, it was her. He knew it even blind. Her soul clung to the rain the way his clung to hope. The river trembled beneath his fingers, and slowly, from its center, a figure emerged, veiled in mist, soaked to the bone, yet glowing like dawn. She walked barefoot, unhurried, like one who had been waiting for centuries. Morounkeji. But her voice echoed like it came from everywhere and nowhere. "I have walked between worlds. In dreams. In silence. I am not alive. But I am not gone." Ao reached out, trembling. "Come back with me. Please." She knelt beside him, touched his face. The moment her skin met his, the rain intensified. Not harsh but sacred. Cleansing. The earth sighed. The trees bowed. "Adarimi's curse bound me here. Not with chains but with longing. I was punished for loving you. But your pain. Your journey. It opened a door." He clutched her hands. "Then walk through it. With me." She shook her head gently. "Only love that gives, not takes, can break what was sealed by hate." Ao opened the pouch tied to his waist, the only item he had kept hidden, even from the gods. His flute. He held it out to her. "Take it. My gift. My voice. My joy. If this brings you home, then let it." Morounkeji smiled, and for the first time in moons, she wept, and the heavens wept with her. She took the flute. The river roared to life. As Morounkeji took the flute, the ground beneath them hummed, soft at first like a hidden drum waking from sleep. Then it grew, trembling with something ancient, something alive. The river surged, not with rage, but with release, the kind that comes after years of silence. Ao couldn't see her, but he could feel her warmth, her presence growing brighter, fuller. Her soul was no longer a shadow tied to the rain. It was becoming real again, rooted in the world she once left behind. Morounkeji raised the flute to her lips. She had never played before, but the wind knew. Trees knew. And the gods, watching from behind the clouds, listened. The sound was fragile at first, a note like a bird learning to fly, then it soared. Notes spiraled from the flute like golden threads, weaving through the branches, the clouds, the soil. Everything paused. In the village of Olyeder, people stepped outside for the first time in weeks. Children pointed to the sky. The cursed rain had become music. The air smelled of new yam, of forgiveness, of peace. Adarimi, alone in his compound, looked up. The beads around his wrists snapped. The calabash of sacrifice at his doorstep cracked open. A black bird flew out and vanished. His curse was broken. At the river, Morounkeji's body began to change. Her feet, once spirit-light, now pressed fully against the earth. Her breath became heavier. Her heart beat faster. She was returning. Ao, still blind, still kneeling, felt a drop of water land on his hand. Then another. And then gently, her fingers intertwined with his. He smiled. "Morounkeji," he whispered. "I'm here," she answered. Thunder rolled in the distance, not in anger but as applause. The rain didn't stop, but now it danced. They returned hand in hand. The rain followed them, not in floods but in blessings. Every step Morounkeji took sent ripples through the village's heart. The trees bore fruit again. The children laughed without coughing. The river sang. Even the sky, once heavy with silence, glowed with color. The people gathered when they entered Olyeder. No one asked questions. No one dared. They only knelt. They only watched. Ao, still blind, never opened his eyes again. But it didn't matter. He could see her, in the way her hand tightened when she was nervous, in the sound of her footsteps, in the weight of her breath beside him at night. He could feel her smile like sunlight on his chest. They built a hut near the sacred stream. Simple, peaceful, far from the marketplace noise, yet close enough for children to sneak by and listen to the music that floated from their home. Sometimes the flute played. Sometimes Morounkeji sang. And always the rain came, gentle, healing, warm. As for Adarimi, he left the village one morning and was never seen again. Some say the gods took him. Others say he became a tree that now weeps in the harmattan wind. But no one missed him. Years passed. The story of the girl who vanished into the rain, and the boy who gave up his eyes to find her, was told from fire to fire, mouth to mouth, drum to drum. It changed over time, as stories do, but one thing remained the same. True love, the elders would say, is not loud, does not grab, gives, waits, and when it returns, even the rain remembers. And so, when rain falls on Olyeder even today, slow, rhythmic, soft, mothers whisper to their daughters, "Shoo, the woman who chose the rain is dancing again." It was the third moon after Morounkeji returned from the spirit realm. Ao sat by the doorway of their hut, carving a wooden whistle for the neighborhood children, when the wind shifted. He paused. The rain had been calm for weeks, soft and faithful, but now it trembled with a strange pulse. Morounkeji stepped outside, tying her wrapper tighter against her waist. She too felt it. The wind no longer smelled like wet earth. It smelled like secrets. Then the thunder rolled, not from the sky but from the stream. O stood slowly. Though blind, his body remembered sounds in ways others couldn't. And what he heard wasn't water. It was footsteps. Not one. Not many. Just one. Deliberate, slow, familiar. Morounkeji's heart thumped. She turned toward the stream and gasped. A man stood by the edge of the water, dressed in black, drenched to the bone. But he didn't shiver. His face was cloaked in shadows, but even from a distance she felt it, a presence that pulled at something buried deep inside her. Something that didn't belong to this world. Or maybe once did. Ao stepped forward, his voice firm. Who's there? The man said nothing. Instead, he knelt, dipped his hand in the stream, and whispered something into it. Then he turned and vanished. Not walked, vanished into the rain. When Morounkeji rushed to the spot, all she found was a small gourd wrapped in palm fronds. Inside it, a strand of black thread, a single flute reed, and a smooth river stone etched with a name. Adideo. She didn't recognize it. But Ao froze when she read it aloud. His breath caught. That was my twin brother's name. Morounkeji looked at him, her hands trembling. I thought you were an only child. O nodded slowly. I was. To be continued.